My wife is an unbelievable, undeniable rock star. Ultimately, my goal is to play this as long as I physically can.
Meet Josh Allen, who was once a zero-star recruit with no Division I scholarship offers. The small-town kid from Firebaugh, California, who went from throwing passes on a farm to launching 70-yard rockets in sold-out NFL stadiums. Overlooked out of high school, rejected by powerhouse programs, forced to attend Reedley Community College just for a shot. But when Wyoming finally gave him an opportunity, Allen didn't just take it. He turned himself into a first-round prospect with one of the strongest arms scouts had ever seen. He now shatters franchise records, led the Buffalo Bills to multiple playoff runs, and hurdled defenders like Anthony. He's not just winning on the field, he's living large off it. Josh Allen's estimated net worth sits around $70 million and growing as endorsements, investments, and career earnings continue to stack. I would be breaking it all for you, from underdog to franchise icon and financial powerhouse. Hit like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as we dive in. Let us get started from the very beginning. Josh Allen's early life began far from the noise and glamour of professional football, rooted instead in the quiet agricultural town of Firebaugh, California, where he was born on May 21, 1996. Firebaugh was small, a farming community surrounded by fields and irrigation lines, but it played a defining role in shaping the person Allen would become. His parents, Joel and LaVon Allen, raised him and his siblings on the family's cotton and cantaloupe farm, where daily life revolved around early mornings, hard labor, and the values that come with it: discipline, responsibility, and humility. Growing up, Josh spent much of his childhood helping on the farm. He dug ditches, hacked weeds, moved irrigation pipes, and did whatever else needed to be done. These tasks were not chores to him, but a natural part of life. The way you contributed, the way you learned to push through discomfort. This environment taught him to work first and complain never, mirroring the mindset his father and grandfather carried as farmers. The isolation of Firebaugh also meant fewer distractions. As his father once said, the small-town lifestyle kept Josh grounded and focused. Yet amid the grit of farm work, a different kind of passion grew. Josh was a natural athlete who played everything he could get his hands on: baseball, basketball, football, even swimming during the summer. From early on, he was known for his unusually strong throwing arm, a talent likely strengthened by years of physical labor. But despite his skills, Firebaugh wasn't a place that attracted college scouts. It was too remote, too small, and too easy for a talented kid to go unnoticed. When he entered high school, Josh was tall but skinny, and he didn't start at quarterback until his junior year. But once he did, his impact was immediate. He led Firebaugh High to one of its best runs in years, throwing 26 touchdowns as a junior and then 33 touchdowns with only 5 interceptions as a senior, ultimately finishing his high school career with over 5,200 passing yards and 59 touchdowns. Even so, major colleges still overlooked him. Recruiters labeled him raw, doubted the level of competition he faced, or simply never heard of him at all. But the lack of attention never discouraged Josh. It fueled him. He believed there was a path forward, even if he had to carve it himself. Because he hadn't received Division I offers, he enrolled at Reedley College, a junior college in California. Not a glamorous move, but the one opportunity available to him. There, he continued to impress with his arm strength and determination, posting strong numbers and showing coaches he had the physical tools to succeed at a higher level. Still, interest from big schools remained limited, so Josh took an unusual step. He sent his own highlight tapes and personal emails to dozens of college coaches across the country, asking, sometimes pleading, for a chance. Almost every message was ignored, except one. Craig Bohl, head coach at the University of Wyoming, saw something in him and offered him an opportunity. That single response changed Josh's life, giving him his first real step onto the national stage. What defines Josh Allen's early life isn't just where he came from, but what shaped him along the way. The early mornings in the fields, the long hours of real work, the humility that comes from living in a small farming town, and the determination that grows when no one believes in you. except your family and yourself. His upbringing didn't just influence him, it forged him. The strength, persistence, and resilience that the world now sees on Sundays were cultivated long before football fame, back when the only spotlight came from the California sun rising over the family farm. Josh Allen's professional life didn't begin with applause. When he entered the 2018 NFL Draft, he wasn't the polished, can't-miss prospect that headlines are made of. He was the quarterback analysts were still debating. But the Buffalo Bills, recognizing the rare combination of size, arm talent, and raw potential, took the leap and selected him 7th overall, betting that the kid from Firebaugh had more greatness in him than the critics realized. His rookie season had flashes, brilliant scrambles, deep bombs, raw, competitive fire, but it also carried the inconsistencies the doubters warned about. Accuracy questions hovered over him like a cloud, and every interception seemed to confirm the skepticism surrounding his selection. But as anyone who knew his backstory understood, Josh Allen had never been defined by early struggles. He had been shaped by them. He embraced the grind, refining his mechanics, sharpening his decision-making, and slowly transforming from a promising athlete into a true quarterback. By 2020, the transformation was undeniable. Josh Allen delivered one of the most explosive breakout seasons in recent NFL history, throwing for over 4,500 yards and 37 touchdowns, while leading the Bills all the way to the AFC Championship game. In one season, he helped turn Buffalo from a rebuilding franchise into a legitimate Super Bowl contender. It was the moment the league realized he wasn't just improving, he was redefining what a franchise quarterback could look like. Allen's rise didn't slow down. By 2022, he was consistently mentioned among the league's top MVP candidates. His powerful arm, punishing running style, and ability to make impossible plays look routine made him one of the NFL's most dangerous dual-threat quarterbacks. He earned Pro Bowl selections, shattered franchise records, and established himself as the emotional and competitive center of the Bills, an identity the city embraced wholeheartedly. But Josh Allen's professional life isn't defined only by his stats. It's defined by his evolution. From a player dismissed as inaccurate to one heralded as one of the most dominant quarterbacks in football, Allen became the face of Buffalo's resurgence. He carried the franchise forward with a mixture of grit and brilliance, making the Bills a perennial playoff contender and injecting new life into a fan base hungry for greatness. The qualities that drove him from a small California farm to the NFL spotlight continued to show themselves. His relentless improvement, his resilience under pressure, his refusal to let doubts dictate his ceiling. Critics who once questioned his accuracy now question how anyone ever doubted him in the first place. And through every hurdle, every playoff push, every highlight reel throw, Josh Allen remained exactly who he'd always been: a worker, a believer, and a leader molded by perseverance. Today, Josh Allen stands not just as the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, but as one of the NFL's premier superstars. His professional story is still unfolding, driven by the same fire that fueled him long before the league ever knew his name. Josh Allen's rise to NFL superstardom didn't just transform the Buffalo Bills, it transformed his entire financial world. His net worth reflects not just his talent, but the timing, the work, and the belief that carried him from a junior college hopeful to a generational earner. Today, Josh Allen's estimated net worth stands at around $70 million, a figure confirmed consistently by multiple outlets and set to grow even further as his contracts and endorsement deals continue to expand. But this number doesn't tell the whole story, the trajectory does. In 2021, Allen signed a monumental 6-year, $258 million contract extension with the Buffalo Bills. It came with a $16 million signing bonus, $100 million fully guaranteed, and $150 million guaranteed for injury, marking the moment Buffalo officially tied their future to him. Then came 2025, the year everything changed again. The Bills rewarded Allen's MVP-level play with a stunning new 6-year, $330 million extension, carrying a record-setting $250 million guaranteed, the most ever promised to an NFL player at signing. This deal launched him into the upper stratosphere of NFL earners, placing him among the highest-paid quarterbacks in league history. With this extension, his average salary jumped to $55 million per year, nearly $12 million more than before. It's the kind of financial leap that even NFL stars dream about, and it instantly cemented his place as one of the most valuable players in the sport. Allen has already earned more than $174 million from NFL contracts alone, a number set to reach over $232 million by the end of 2025. And if he completes his new extension, his career earnings could approach, or even exceed, $500 million. But Josh Allen's wealth isn't built only on football. He has stacked endorsement deals with major brands, including partnerships with Nike, Gillette, and other national names. These deals continue to pad his income and strengthen his presence as one of the NFL's most marketable athletes. He has also ventured into business investments, from real estate to becoming a shareholder in Encore Golf Technology. These off-field moves have helped diversify his growing financial empire. Despite the massive numbers and record-breaking deals, Allen has remained humble in public. When asked if he felt like he had taken less money compared to other quarterbacks, his response perfectly reflected his perspective. What's $5 million more going to do for my life that I can't already do right now? I live a pretty good life. Got a house, got a car, we're good. It's a rare mindset in a league where every contract number is dissected and compared. But it's also one that tells you everything about Josh Allen. Grounded, grateful, but fully aware of the value he brings. Josh Allen's finances mirrors his football journey, steady, powerful, and fueled by belief. And if his career continues its current trajectory, the wealth we see today may only be the beginning. Talking about the real estate mentioned earlier, Josh's success in the NFL has brought him wealth, fame, and opportunity, yet his choices reveal something unexpected. A preference for spaces that offer calm over spectacle, privacy over extravagance. His primary residence sits in Orchard Park, New York, just minutes from Highmark Stadium, a practical decision for a quarterback who prefers to live close to the heartbeat of his team. Purchased in 2018, the 3,600-square-foot home is set on roughly 15 acres of land, giving Allen the space and serenity he rarely finds during the season. Despite its size, the home carries a subtle elegance. Guests enter through a grand foyer where natural light streams from an arched window, spilling across a patterned tile mosaic that announces a quiet sophistication. Twin staircases curve upward, adding symmetry and warmth, a soft counterbalance to the pressures of the NFL world outside. Inside, the open layout flows effortlessly. A kitchen designed with rich cherry cabinets and granite countertops becomes a natural gathering space. Part workspace, part sanctuary. The living areas continue this sense of comfort. Cozy, sunlit rooms, clean lines, and thoughtful design choices that make the house feel lived in, not showy. Yet Allen has always been a strategic thinker, and that includes his real estate moves. In 2021, he made a bold but understated decision, purchasing an additional 31 acres of land adjacent to his Orchard Park home. The acquisition expanded his property into a sprawling 46-acre private retreat. Whether reserved for future construction, a custom dream home, or simply to maintain his privacy, the move showcases the same foresight he brings to the field. But Allen's story doesn't end in New York. Over on the West Coast, closer to his roots, lies his most luxurious investment, a mid-century modern beach home in Dana Point, California. Acquired in 2023 for $7.2 million, the property is everything his Orchard Park residence is not. Here, the ocean greets him with open arms, and floor-to-ceiling glass invites the Pacific sunlight into nearly every room. The home's architecture is a celebration of simplicity, clean lines, open space, and a design that erases the boundaries between indoors and out. After purchasing it, Allen made subtle renovations, removing dark brick around the fireplace, opening up the living area, and brightening the interior to create a minimal, modern aesthetic that reflects his evolving style. These adjustments transform the home's energy, making it not just a beach house, but a personal retreat. For a moment, it seemed he might part with it, listing the property for $8.5 million. But the listing lingered without a sale, and by year's end, he pulled it off the market. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Maybe the home's connection to his roots was too meaningful to let go. Josh Allen's mansions feel like quiet statements of identity, spaces designed to recharge, reflect, and remain grounded. They are reminders that behind every highlight reel is a man who values privacy, purpose, and the comfort of home. Now, unto his car collection. For Allen, cars aren't just machines. They're extensions of the life he's lived and the life he's earned. Growing up around trucks and heavy-duty equipment instilled in him a love for power and utility, and now he's built a garage that mirrors both his upbringing and his success. With an estimated collection value of around $622,000, Allen's fleet isn't about excess, it's about identity. The first vehicle that speaks to that identity is the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, the most affordable ride in his lineup at $65,000. Despite its price, the Wagoneer carries a twin-turbo V8 engine and all-wheel drive, a combination built for harsh Buffalo winters and long drives through upstate snow. That same practicality shows up again in his Ford F-150 Raptor, a custom-built powerhouse costing $90,000. This truck embodies where Allen came from. Its V8 engine delivers roughly 450 horsepower. Its massive frame is built for rough terrain, and its presence feels almost symbolic. Part workhorse, part trophy. It's as ready for muddy back roads as it is for Buffalo blizzards. But Allen's garage isn't all grit. He also gravitates toward refined capability. His Range Rover Sport, valued at $115,000, blends performance with luxury in a way that feels intentional. It offers powerful handling and advanced tech without losing the sturdiness needed for New York weather. That same quiet prestige grows louder with the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, a statement piece priced at $137,000. Famous for its boxy silhouette and its V8 producing 577 horsepower, the G-Wagon is a favorite of athletes who want style and strength in equal measure. For Allen, it's the definitive luxury SUV, rugged enough to fit his personality, refined enough to reflect his status. Of course, no collection of Allen's would be complete without raw American muscle. His Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, costing about $70,000, with nearly 800 horsepower, and boasts the ability to break the 200 miles per hour barrier. It is unapologetically loud, unapologetically fast, and unmistakably bold. But the crown jewel of his collection is unmistakably the Aston Martin Vantage. Sleek, elegant, and lightning quick, the Vantage sits at $145,000, making it Allen's most expensive vehicle. With over 500 horsepower and unmistakable sports car refinement, it represents the evolution of a farm kid into a global football star. It's his nod to sophistication, the kind of car you drive when you no longer have anything to prove. Together, these cars form more than a collection, they form a biography. The trucks reflect his roots. The luxury SUVs represent the balance he's earned. And the sports cars reveal the thrill seeker who still lives inside him. Away from the roar of packed stadiums and the weight of carrying a franchise, Josh Allen lives a personal life defined not by fame, but by connection, change, and a growing sense of purpose. His story off the field has unfolded just as dramatically as his rise on it, rooted in love, shaped by vulnerability, and now centered on family. For years, Allen kept his private world closely guarded, but everything began to shift in May 2023 when he was first spotted with actress Haley Steinfeld, their chemistry quietly drawing attention long before either of them spoke a word about it publicly. They were seen enjoying evenings in New York City, sharing dinners and easy laughter as early rumors circulated. At the time, a source simply said they were having fun. the beginning of something neither rushed nor flaunted. Throughout 2023, the two continued to appear together, though they remained intentionally private. Allen admitted in an interview that the sudden spotlight on his dating life created thoughtful insecurity for him. A rare, honest acknowledgement from a top-tier NFL quarterback who usually carried himself with unwavering confidence. The public fascination surprised him, but the relationship grew regardless, steady and grounded. For Allen, preparing for fatherhood wasn't just about the excitement of a new baby, but a broader recognition of the balance between football and family. In a candid reflection, he admitted that although football had long been the only thing he ever wanted to do, he'd begun to understand the deeper weight of life beyond the field. He emphasized that being a good person, being present for loved ones, and building a family held a meaning equal to, if not greater than, his career accolades. Now, as he steps into 2026, Josh Allen is no longer just Buffalo's quarterback or one of football's most electrifying talents. He is a husband, a soon-to-be father, and a man who increasingly values the quiet moments, time with loved ones, meaningful conversations, and the grounding force of family. The transformation is palpable. His personal life, once distant from public view, has become a story of love that grew steadily, of vulnerability shared gradually, and of joy embraced fully. And for a quarterback who once felt overwhelmed by the world's attention, Josh Allen now welcomes this new chapter, not as a player, but as a partner and soon as a father. That brings us to the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Josh Allen. Drop a like, share, subscribe, and I do hope I'll be seeing you in the next one.